Welcome back for Game 2 where FlyQuest and 100 Thieves Academy square off. Luckily, I did not have to call any of your grandmothers, and after some roster experiments, 100 Thieves found a winning combination with Someday in the top lane. Go figure!
Surprise, surprise! He's smurfing in the top lane. A man that was known for being the best top laner in Korea finds success in North American Academy. You couldn't have it any other way. But the main rosters found success too.
Both of them.
Strangely enough, subbing him into Academy has worked, so they got to win. Will these changes be a permanent fix? Tune in next week into the Heist or whatever LCS shows they're playing in.
You have to wonder. They build the plane as it's going, but somehow they're like, actually, we brought this part on the plane, so let's try this. And you're like, how many parts do you have to this plane? It's crazy.
It's probably the only vehicle I would not want to build as I'm using it.
Yeah, this is true. They go up against FlyQuest Academy, who can have a little more confidence now after picking up their first win.
Much needed confidence boost for this team.
Good.
And individually, they're playing well, particularly Ango, creating some good pressure on the Poppy, taking a little note out of Dokla's book. But this week, JJ is in support, not Wadid. What did he do to move up to the main team?
Not Freak. Your eyes are not deceiving you, not Freak. We'll have to see, though, because people have been questioning. They're like, oh, Wadid's going to be on the main roster to start. Where is he? And he hasn't been. So now we see JJ at the Academy position. Things be a little crazy for the team. Let's see now the team's starting rosters as we start on the blue side. It's FlyQuest Academy, and that is top lane Engo. Jungling is Maxi. Mid lane Strompist. Airy in the bot lane with support JJ for this time around, and Coach Mango for picks and bans.
And over on the red side, it's 100 Thieves Academy. You've got Someday in the top lane, Anda in the jungle, Soligo playing mid, Chris Mole playing bot with his support stunt, and their coach, Kelsey Moser.
Yeah, it's weird. I ask how they have all this variety. It's in the name. They have hundreds.
Right.
Hundreds of thieves to try from. So all of these plans work. They just need a better kind of planning room to make it happen in.
How would you split the loot with that many thieves?
I don't know.
You really wouldn't get a whole lot of
See,
business.
that's the problem. That's the problem. At this point, you all have to work solo. You need less thieves.
Yeah.
There's just no way to keep it going.
It's like when you watch those
Inflation.
like America's Got Talent, and then you see these giant bands of like 44 people. I'm like, you realize when you split the money, you guys are getting like $2,000 each. Like, I don't know if this is worth it.
That happens because you got a sweet new instrument. We'll see if we can get some victories. 3 and 5, 100 Thieves Academy. Like we said, both rosters finding that victory here in the past week. A little bit of that boost and maybe finding what is right for them in the playbook. And here they can replicate that result.
Yeah. Karma expected to be banned, the Sona, but the Silas is the one that's really fallen out of flavor here. It doesn't look like it's been considered to be banned, not even picked in the last game. So it looks like we have finally removed the champion that is very confusing to look at because everyone throws a different ultimate out and you don't know where it's coming from.
They say, Bylus to Silas. That was for you. We're having a good time today. Oh, the Yumi.
No.
Get it back in. A few changes, nothing huge. Not like it really changed much of anything.
A little
Maybe
nerf,
like fixes,
little
the
tweak.
quality of life fixes.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's not like her
Good way to say it.
quality of life. When your life is so balling already, any degradation is just going to keep it nice and useful still. But I like the takeaway out of the Sivir, though. You don't want to let the FlyQuest team
Also
have
good against
Sivir Yumi, though. That is just a nasty combo.
Sivir Kate's fun too, but you don't always really want Kate in your composition these days. What do we got here from Anda? Locking in maybe for himself in the jungle. We've seen Jarvan fall off a little bit with these junglers and players that can get in and out of sticky situations. Let's see what he has. Still have pretty good picks up here. Olaf maybe if they want to get some angriness in the jungle and speed for Olaf to get in and out of the fights.
It's a risky proposition because if you go with the Olaf again, Maxi has the way to go Kindred, just like we saw with Labra going the last game. And Kindred would be really good against Olaf. You can hop away, hop in and out. So there's a lot of playability here. Jarvan,
Who comes out when Olaf comes out?
Exactly.
The one who can't get
Jarvan,
out.
and it's great against Sivir too because you can spell shield the damage, but you're still gonna get trapped in there. And as a short range AD carry, you're always gonna be in trouble.
Please pick it. You exactly know what they're trying to do. They're looking for the blender. Man, I get so excited as a play-by-play when I see crap like that. So baited every time. Lucian locked in. We don't see too much of Lucian lately, so it'll be cool to see what Airy can put up with the Yumi lock-in on his back.
I think it's a cool combo. You got the Lucian going extra fast, so the speed should hopefully buy enough time for Lucian to deal the damage and then have another reset of his Relentless Assault. So yeah, you're just gunning everyone down, Relentless Assault all the time. Good against Sivir too. I believe it's very difficult to spell shield the Light Slinger. The piercing light.
Yeah,
very difficult to.
I like it. You had the
spell shield
passive, and then you like Varus, Lucian. You got it in there. I see the brainwaves. I don't see brainwaves. Mind bullets.
It started it sounding crazy here.
LeBlanc taken off. She's on the bench. We do get Lux in though, so as Jarvan looks to initiate in these fights, you get locked up. We'll see if that silly goes or stunts as we get into it.
Lux is better as a support.
I think Lux is way better as a support. So much agency and just annoying two people in the lane. Like, if you actually look at the size of her abilities, or the range, and then the size, like, Lucian's Singularity takes up so much of bot lane, you just leave it there.
I'm saying that because I don't want to see a support that's not Lux out of 100 Thieves. Because it would be the same thing that CLG just did, where they put Lux in the mid lane. Here's what happens when you go mid lane support, right? You have to stack damage, and then if you miss a binding, if you miss a spell, it's so detrimental to your team.
So what you're saying is you just have to be frogging.
You have to be frog. It's like playing Morgana. Yeah, she can be a viable mid laner, but you're really banking on perfect play here. Otherwise, it's going to be very rough for you, as opposed to support where you can just chuck one out after the other mindlessly, get the pick, which gets the same result.
Your patch changes always like flex what's in the game, but I feel like champions, Lux a little less because of the agency of her distance and abilities, but you learn to play against X champion a little bit better. It's like when Gnar came out, you're like, damn, Gnar is crazy. And you're like, well, wait, you just have to wait for him to not be Gnar and we're okay.
Exactly.
So you see these champions more and they do a little bit less because you play against them that much better.
Whoa, look at that.
Let's go.
Nice.
Stars locked in. Yeah. I did that on purpose, by the way. Foreshadowing.
That's the next level foreshadowing, actually. It's almost as if it's scripted.
Oh, they do get some long range in there, though. So follow up on these Cataclysms with a Gnar, and then you got a lot of poke coming in from Zoe and Lucian. How are you liking 100 Thieves so far?
Actually, I really like the Azir pick because I think that FlyQuest Academy would have taken Azir because it's a great answer into the Olaf. Olaf can't do a thing against Azir. You're never going to gank him. You're never going to run him down. It's very difficult, and so you deny the pick right away, works with the Sivir, and then you now have on the other side, FlyQuest Academy, they're having to go Zoe into the Azir matchup, making things a little bit rougher for Azir's life, and it can be rough for the Olaf. Yeah, you can proc that ultimate when you get stunned, but having to run away with that ultimate when you're already getting hit by that paddle star will just spank you right back to the fountain.
Don't want any of that.
It's a paddle.
Gonna get a tush cushion. Be all right. I feel like Rumble was almost missed by FlyQuest here. If it made it all the way down there for someday on 100 Thieves, you really counter what Maxi's trying to bring to the table with the Cataclysm. As soon as you lay down that red carpet, the initiation becomes so much harder. And Soligo can also choose if you're supposed to be there or not with Emperor's Divide. A lot of counter and I think a lot of comfort picks for 100 Thieves here. And this, I kind of give them this champion select with what they've come out with.
And when I see Someday here in the Academy, I'm just like, I'll just give it to him all the time. Like, whatever you're picking, I'm putting my money on Someday for this just because he's so good.
He is.
Right.
Any given Someday. Right? What are you going to get out of this guy? Good plays. Sometimes. I mean, we wonder what a lot of these champions that have been on, world finalist teams and just kind of world semi-finalist teams aren't finding the same caliber of play. And the question is, do a lot of them either like play to their opponent, they peaked in a certain meta, and sometimes you get a lot of good play out of people like Someday. And you just wonder, why is he not back on the LCS team? And it's not about the names, it's about the cooperation.
I mean, it's also about having fun, and it does.
That's a really good point.
It does.
I like that you always bring that up.
Give you more joy if you just randomly take a break from your own team, play with somebody else, get a new feel for how another team does it, even though they're in the same organization, and then you can come back with a fresher set of eyes as to how to address the problems of your current team.
True.
It's almost like a wife swap kind of thing, right? Like a situation where you get to see somebody else's shoes, somebody else's lives, and then say, maybe it wasn't so bad over here, or maybe it is, or maybe
That was
find
the
a new
weirdest show, by the way.
right?
So awkward.
I never watched a single show. I would really only just watch clips or spoofs of the show that somebody made out of it.
It's just, I couldn't believe that somebody would actually just live their regular life. Okay, back to the game as we save this conversation. Coming up on to 2 minutes in, everyone's level 1 and it's intense. We had a bit of invade there on the boss side. Anda's going to be able to do a little vertical jungling with Maxi now as they, very nicely done there. Light binding into a nice boomerang as they start off health advantage on the 100 Thieves.
And the map has been split, so 100 Thieves
Yeah.
choosing to forego Someday's lane, have Jarvan have to annoy him, which is a pretty annoying champion to deal with if you're going to get camped, especially in the top lane as a melee. But then on the flip side, you've got Olaf helping out Silverlux, pushing that lane, and specifically helping against a Yuumi that's going to be trying to be aggressive, that's going to be trying to be in your face. So that should prevent Yuumi from bullying that lane, which, as long as Sivir gets a few levels, then she's going to be able to farm this lane very easily and not have to worry about the harass. Because that harass from Yuumi just turns into free mana.
Right under the turret, you can see boomerangs onto that cannon wave to try and get it under the turret, give Airy a bit of trouble in his Farmville. Already 13-8 as he has that CS to clean up, being pushed in by Stun and Prismal. Someday at a perfect point, and this is the kind of stuff Someday does that you really don't realize or get to see in lane, is you can just freeze it at this 80% mark. He's not under his turret yet, denies cannon.
Yeah,
and
that's
he
exactly.
is just playing it so well for the early game.
That's exactly it, right? You have the health advantage, the minion advantage, and then goes aggressive when the cannon minion is about to die, so that Engo has to make the choice, do I trade back or do I go for the cannon minion? And he chooses none, so he takes the damage, misses the cannon, and now does not have that much pressure in his lane as the minion wave starts pushing back to the blue side.
And depending on how big that builds and how much Engo gets at it, look how many of those caster shots at one in the turret are lost, right? So Engo has to do some big cleanup before it gets there, as Someday doing great in the first 4 levels, toasting him right off it. Oh my word, a level advantage double harpoon with the no-cost secondary, and it looks like he's about to overheat too, so he's keeping it at the advanced charge mark. I'm sure it's not even called charge as he heats up.
And that's the weak side of 100 Thieves.
For sure.
That's just
For sure.
Yeah, okay, he has a little bit of a CS disadvantage, maybe about 3, but it doesn't matter. He's controlling the lane at this point as he has the health advantage and the potions that will help him be even more aggressive.
Good job by Engo. The pressure did kind of phase him. He cleans it up under the turret. The mid lane pressure as well from slowly going Strampus. 25-30 there. And props to Engo. Someday tried to play him with a big wave into the turret, and he gets to freeze it at the same mark here.
And now Olaf is in the top side of the map. Jarvan has been spotted, so Someday can be playing pretty aggressive here, knowing that he's going to be fine. Not going to get ganked. And no more crazy action here.
Oh, it doesn't have the big boom paddle. Not yet. Waiting for the cooldowns. A little bit of back and forth to the bot side as we get Mountain Drake spawned up onto the Rift. A great vision here from 100 Thieves. A little arc of vision they have going on the bot side. They just lost the Scuttle, but beautifully done there. Gets an eye on Maxi as he's blue buff, and he's like, I have no camps. What do I do? Gotta feel good as Anda sees that.
And that got spotted as well, but at least he's pressuring a side that is a little bit more relevant. Someday's crashing the minion wave now, still has that potion advantage, and Engo halfway HP at level 6. If Someday can ding it a little bit faster and is in a good spot, he might be able to threaten a 1v1 kill.
Seeing Anda on top side ward. Nice little placement of vision there by Engo, and they're able to get this dragon, maybe. With the damage early game, it means this is a little bit longer than usual to take it down. Do they see him in the pit? They see Dragon is aggroed onto something by now. Maxi's trying to get a few hits on, but also, oh my word, taking quite a bit of damage for each hit. He's got to get out of there. Okay, team's adding good pressure. 3 members of 100 Thieves backed into their own base. There's no ultimate there for Soligo. He's only there to be a big Azir. And Someday's got the ultimate. He lays it down. Dragon's going to be grabbed by Maxi as he flashes out of the pit. Someday is taken out of lane. It looks like we got both of the teleports on that.
If either of these teams were coordinated by just a fraction, they would have wiped the floor in that dragon fight, because the equalizer was a little bit too late, and then the Zoe follow-up was just not there with the Nard. Level 5, not hitting 6 to be able to use that ultimate. So very close to being just a bloodbath for both these teams. And in the end, we just burned teleports, summoners, the whole 9 yards, and not a single kill is put on the board.
Slight CS leads from 100 Thieves. Oh, good dodge on the Drowsy. Strumpus losing that health advantage in mid, but almost won back by the minions that are just around Soligo right now. As he gets the Corrupting Potion charge going. Still a biscuit for Soligo, a little mana, a little bit of HP for him there. Looks like Cannon Wave may allow these two to reset. We do have Engo coming down into the mid. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get the advantage there, though. Good warding here from the side of FlyQuest Academy as everything kind of calms down 7 minutes in. Teleports are just about to be up for the side of 100 Thieves. Actually, Prismals is up. I don't think he'll be going anywhere too soon. Minions for him to clean up at the wave as Eri goes back.
It kind of looks like both teams are scared of each other. And I say that because of the vision. As FlyQuest's vision does not go past River. And 100 Thieves, they barely have any, and it still doesn't go past River. So nobody's really trying to get any scouting on your opponents. And when that's the case, that's when you start playing the most passive than any other phase in the game, just because you're in the dark. It doesn't really matter that you don't know that they've crossed that part of the river, since there's lots of other places where you can be ganked from.
Little item spikes here and damage. 2 blasting ones there. Soligo's had his. Someday now may be able to take a bit advantage over the lane. No magic resistance just yet for Engo. Kind of relying on that ultimate resistance. So he becomes a giant Gnar.
So those 2 ruby crystals could build into 2 very viable items here. The Black Cleaver if you're going for a little bit of a split pusher, but he could also go for the Adaptive Helm, which would be great. But first, a gank onto Prism without flash.
Nice job. Spell Shield dodges the Cataclysm damage, keeps him alive for a little bit longer. Eri is now turned on, and they have JJ there. JJ's forced to fly off. It's a double kill coming in for Anda. The possible triples, he picks up the undertow and comes down with the swing. A triple kill for the Olaf.
And he also gets the first blood, so even though Maxi starts that play out, Anda's right there ready to counter it, and 100 Thieves is going to get so much out of this. That Olaf can take down plates so quickly as well, so he's going to rack in even more gold. Already a 350 bounty loot.
Ridiculous. Gets Caulfield, comes right out of base, and gets the value out of it instantly. Pink Ward in the brush, they don't know he's there. Counter gank.
Right away, and even though the exhaust went onto the Olaf to try to buy some time, the minions were so many, the illusion was not there to follow up. And in the end of the day, Olaf will beat a Jarvan in a scrap hands down. It's just not even close. In fact, no one beats Olaf in a scrap, which is why he's such a powerful jungler right now.
Some of the images we have in our game are just so silly. I've never noticed the Yuumi slowed one where she's slumped over Book and just kind of both legs are hanging off like, blah, we're going. Trist is one of my favorites too, as she drags her gun along the ground. Some of the slow animations get me in this game, and I did not know that was Yuumi's. And that is going to mean things are slower for FlyQuest here on the bot side. A few prowling projectiles will definitely hit stunt, but he is going to be able to fire back with a bit more firepower each time.
I got to start paying more attention to these animations. It sounds like there's a world of comedy in them.
Maybe I saw it wrong. I thought that's what I saw. It was good, though.
It sounds true.
Gave me a chuckle. 10 minutes in. Stopwatch is there if anybody... Nope. Nobody passively getting one out of Masteries. Oh, this is what we were talking about. Alt after alt. Minion wave is going to be there, so it's not going to be a good calling. Wow, she steps out of the minions to step out of the stun and damage. Nicely done by Eri and JJ. Pick that one up quick after the death.
The minions wanted to tank it for her, but she was way too noble for that. No, you guys must go on.
There's plates to be had.
Yeah.
Feed yourselves.
Hey, at least he uses teleport right back to the lane, only giving up 1 plate.
Easy.
And now they have the counter push, but that's not the place where you want to be. When you are the Sivir, you will always be able to counter that late game. Here goes the engage.
Oh! Oh, wow. Anda is just getting fed this game. Another one picked up in the mid game. Nice setup by Soligo. They did have to chase a bit with the flash of Olaf, but the Rift Herald follow-up means more cash in the mid lane.
Absolutely crushing it
Oh,
out of
stay
him.
there.
And now good call by him, giving the solo gold over to the Azir. He does not need more gold as Olaf. Olaf is not going to scale amazingly into the late game. So you might as well give it to your hyper carries. Instead, focus on the objectives, and Infernal down. Next one will be another one, which is exactly what you want when you've got 2 APs in your solo lanes and a late game Sivir.
It's always been such a weird road for Olaf in his history. Because you remember like Voyboy play it, and you're like, is it that 45-minute mark yet? Oh, he's hit 45 minutes? He's a tank. Just gun it down any lane, take out everybody.
I think the big change that really put a cap to how good Olaf can be is that when you ult, you get squishier.
Right, yeah. You actually don't get resistance.
Which is so counterintuitive.
It is true. Seems like a Viking wouldn't lose anything if he got angry.
Right.
You'd get excited. Like imagine if the Hulk, I don't even know.
Weaker
yeah, like you can't, because he gets angry when he gets mad. That's the thing. He's like infinitely more strong if he gets angry.
Well, actually, I just found the logic to it.
Oh God.
You've got armor and MR as your ultimate, and armor and MR you really just acquire from items. So the reason why he's
you're saying Olaf just gets naked with the ult?
Not fully naked, but just gets into his jammies. He's a little lighter. He can get out of any CC because he's limber.
That's actually pretty sweet. I wish there was a giant Olaf skin with huge armor, and when you ulted, that armor fell off.
Right.
And that would like reanimate when you became non-ult.
There you go. We should be on the Skins Design team.
Skins team, hear me. I don't think that way. That's not how it works. I'd have a lot more skins if that
would be a 6
I would love that skin. That's a great idea, Crumbs. I like that. Crumbs idea. 4-2. 13 minutes in. Just a 2K gold lead over here on the side. 100 Thieves. They picked a few pockets, and the turret plates have fallen, or are falling off soon. 30 seconds. One more here in mid, and it looks like they'll be able to get that cashed in before it falls, and is there to help, as everybody's going to get their hand in this pie. Ching.
And only one plate has gone over to FlyQuest in the bottom lane. That's it. They haven't found anything else. Whereas you got 5 in the mid, 1 in the top, 2 in the bottom. So 100 Thieves is well fed.
109 to 118. We haven't really seen the impact of Ango just yet, and a big Gnar ultimate. Remember, a lot of what 100 Thieves can do in counter to these fights with the Emperor's Divide, the Equalizer from Someday, all really hurt FlyQuest's chances to get in on a good fight with Maxi. So it's going to be even harder now that 100 Thieves are ahead 3K. They can dictate their own fights. They're not really worried about Maxi goes in this situation. He's protected by Stunt. Prismal has speed. 100 Thieves are looking pretty good. They take down top turret here. Don't know if they'll have the resources to do it just yet, though.
They are looking very good, especially in the bottom lane when you got Lucian that just completed that Blade of the Ruined King, allowing him to dish out some sick DPS. And now that he's not up against the Sivir, he might have a good time just engaging onto Stunt and Someday.
It does feel really good to get out of that lane when you've been eating like Lux E's the whole time, trying not to line up and shadow a minion so you get double bound behind. It's like Bard gets pretty annoying with that, too.
I do not envy laners having to deal with obnoxious lane champions.
But you feel like she should be support.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It is the smart move for sure.
I just don't want to be up against it. There's a reason why I chose to jungle instead. One, you don't have to lane. Even though I could be a pretty competent laner, it's mostly that it's a lane that impacts the map in ways that are a little bit more tangible.
Yeah. It's just, for a solo queue, it becomes so aggressive because you have duos play like a Comet MF with Lux, and you're just like, that's super fun, thank you.
Right.
There's no way I'm not taking damage all game. Back to the mid lane, a little bit of ARAM, as this is one of the final turrets that stands. I should say for FlyQuest, they're mid, their top and bot stand on the side of 100 Thieves.
So it's all about getting this vision for the Dragon, but they have sacked the top lane and they're sacking the mid lane pressure. So FlyQuest over-committing for this objective. Even though it's 40 seconds before it happens, it's way too early. I think that right now, the way the game is currently played, you're better off just being there 30 seconds and focusing on the rest of the map before that.
Ooh. Big damages, alt forward. Nope, not going to decide to. Doesn't want to get hit with anything that could knock her back. The team's going back down to get a little bit of setup on this next dragon.
Yumi could be pretty good here at setting up Zoe, actually, as a combination. You hit him with the slow, it looks somewhat similar to the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, and then you hit him with the ultimate.
Yeah.
But again, FlyQuest overcommitted here. This is going to be a terrible fight for them. They have lost mid lane priority here. They somewhat have bot lane priority, but they are just sneaking in.
No.
They spend all this time acquiring vision that they're not even the ones to start the objective.
They have to be really careful. Ingo's just gnarring out. His ultimate's up, but it's not going to matter in just a few seconds if they try to get into this fight. Now, 100 Thieves are going to feel great once that wears off. They're going to step up just a little bit more. Damage taken by Maxi here. He's in one more shot, possibly, as Anda now gets it. And they're going to let Dragon reset, most likely. No, they don't. They want in on it. Someday can just drop the welcome carpet to the left. Nice Drowsy. Strumpus possibly over the wall to deliver that damage, but Maxi is not able to get the Drake, taken away by Anda as they fight for it back and forth. And once again, 100 Thieves now with that line down mid lane.
And this is the problem of the bad position that FlyQuest took. Now they don't have the inside track to the mid lane. Now they're going to get pushed to mid with a wave crashing, which 100 Thieves could easily take advantage of and try to get more objectives out of this. That's what they're going for. Look at what they did. They just call in Prismal and stun. No, no, stay here. We're going to take this tier 2 because FlyQuest made an error about 3 minutes ago that got compounded into a dragon and into a mid lane tower.
Look at all the vision too. Oh, clear there. Did they miss the mid ward? No, Maxi's going to go back for it. Or at least they need to. Those wards are actually very important for any team to have because you can see the entrances into the jungle. Minions aren't pushing back there as much usually because it's pushed up to mid, so it's nice to have vision past these turrets where your minions were usually going. And they get away with one there. It was cleared out, but there is one. So 100 Thieves keeping those breadcrumbs behind them so they can go back and get value out of it.
Nice.
You like that? You like my breadcrumbs? Always leaving breadcrumbs in the jungle when you leave. Gotta have that vision. Good clear here. So the item spikes are Ludens, Leandries, Black Cleaver. So even it feels like we've actually been in the game quite a bit here, but only one item. Whoa! Airy going in onto Soligo. I am surprised he got the better of that fight right off the bat. Nice job, Soligo mess up just a tad, but Engo's now trying to pick up the slack here with the rest of the team as he teleports in. There goes Maxi into the fight. Final chapter across 2 members of 100 Thieves. But again, they say we don't have the follow-up just yet. They're going to have to back themselves. Stropus goes down to a fight happening in the mid lane as he thinks he can take the 2v1 of Prismal and Stunt, and top should be protected for now, but Sunday's not leaving until he gets a gold for himself.
Maxi was hoping that Engo would go in there and use the Gnar ultimate to slam him into the Jarvan Cataclysm. That does work, but I think that Someday might have had just enough health that he would not have gotten bursted down. Olaf, Anda would have definitely died, but I think that Rumble would have probably lived to just clean up house. JJ's exhaust might have been communicated to say, hey, I could probably exhaust the Rumble, but it was still such a close call. Let's take another look at how this began, because Airy, he goes in with a giant minion wave here anyways. He just says, all right, Soligo, bring it.
Oh, that first hit.
Bold.
Oh, so he actually couldn't move. I said he misplayed that, but he was just knocked up by Maxi. I didn't see him come in that fast, so great job. Soligo actually stalling this fight so they can get in. And here's what happened mid. Oh, that distance. So that flash happened on your screen. Just Observer. And Prismal got in range with it. Nicely done. 5-0-0 Anda. Oh, that shield coming back so huge. Underestimating the Lux Prismatic Barrier is the death of many, many a summoner. And that's going to be Airy and JJ both going down the follow-up. Actually drops another as well as Stropus finds himself on the ground. 100 Thieves are just picking up gold left and right.
I was ready to see the Someday show this game, but Anda has come in as the most powerful supporting cast member. 6-0-2, 600 gold, and now a 20-minute Baron. There's no way FlyQuest can test this. They are bleeding out fast as 100 Thieves is positioned to end this game in the next 5 minutes.
There's only one thing that Anda has not participated in this game. 6-0-2 with 9 kills on the board. I don't even remember where that one actually was because he has been so omnipresent on this Olaf. They started off with the vertical jungling, which allowed bot lane to have a little bit more pressure as well. Airy and JJ really didn't get hit up too much by the Lux and the Yuumi, so great job at the bot lane. But
know, it's the same as every Ezreal player.
Yeah.
You look at the VOD and you ask yourself, when did they die? The answer is almost always the same. When they eat forward.
So true. I feel like so many people can relate to that these days. I know I've had a few.
It's never really, it's very hard to die when you don't use that ability aggressively.
Yep. You never do it at like level 1 either.
Yeah.
It's got to be like 38 minutes, inhibitor take. I'm going to make this play happen, and I die. I'm dead. There we go. A little sleepy for Anda. He feels fine about that. 4 strong for 100 Thieves roaming in the jungle. Looks like they get a little bit of that vision cleared. They feel strong enough to start pushing it forward here. And they're going to send a few good men to the bot side. Ooh! Leaving the AD carry alone is a dangerous, dangerous game. Prismal tries to fire back. He doesn't have too much lifesteal, though, that's going to keep him alive at this point, unless he went for that legend stack in the tree. And that's only stacked up a few times at this point anyways. 32 seconds on him to come back up, not teleporting back in, so he's got a long walk back to the fight. And little by little, FlyQuest find ways to keep 100 Thieves out of a winning position. 100 Thieves are also still making that winning opportunity much, much more likely for themselves.
That was a nice look out of Maxi, knowing that the Sivir does not have flash, and as we discussed at the Champion Select, Jarvan versus Sivir is a great matchup. You can't spell shield the Cataclysm entirely, and he just has no way of escaping once you get in there. However, I don't know how important matchups are going to be now that you've got triple Infernals on 100 Thieves. Look at how much damage Engo takes. That was already done.
That was pretty dirty. I like the shove over the wall. The Nars divide. As bot lane is getting pushed in here, we're getting Prismal back into the fight after he went down, and he will be mid lane priority. Baroned up here for just a bit longer. Someday and the rest of the team decide to push in.
So for them to get a tier 2 here, they're going to need Sivir. It's going to be really important at hitting these towers. She's already here. Doesn't have the Baron, but Stunt has already escorted the minion wave, and Strumpets using Paddle Star is not going to be able to clear this out.
Harry does have the culling on the side, but it's not like he can hit any minions to make this stop. Everything else is a brick wall that he can shoot at this point. Even Prismal is a level over than him, and at 2 levels. 3 levels for Someday. Becoming tough just to make a bit of damage happen on 100 Thieves. Now, some farm to pick up. FlyQuest has to hope that these lanes start pushing in without the members of 100 Thieves backing them up. They have a little bit of time to keep themselves scaling, but I don't think they'll have too much time to do that now. 100 Thieves is looking to put the finishing touches on.
Oh yeah, scaling is, I think it's a word of the past now.
For you only scale in this game.
You really can't afford to build a composition and say, yeah, we'll be fine. We just have to outscale them when we're up against an early game team composition. Like the early game power that you can create now if you get creative is nutty. And speaking of power, Soligo.
Oh, he thought it. He knew it. Why did you second guess yourself for so long? It happens. And you're like, no, they would have come by now for sure. Surely.
In the words of Akali, hesitation is the seed of defeat. And
lore-based facts.
That's actually pretty, how much, that's one of my favorite parts about the lore, that a lot of it, I'm like, no, that's inspirational, thank you.
Ha! Holy macaroons. Did you see that damage?
That was not even a act.
Oh! That's ridiculous. He is huge. Black Cleaver, Sterix finished 702 with a 700 bounty. He's hitting people with a sack of gold right now. Airy gets out alive. That burn's not going to take him down just yet. Lives by the skin of his teeth, baby. Stunts onto the turret with the rest of the team, and they're pushing forward. You can see Stunt positioning, get the light bindings forward a little bit more. What a game for Anda.
Anda is literally the guy in the frat house that's preventing you from getting into the party, and you're not going to be able to get in.
Just able to stiff arm everybody at the door. It was like people trying to leave the party on that one. Engo couldn't even get out. You're in, you're here to stay. If you haven't gotten in, you're not getting there. It's a weird party. 11 to 5. Is that 26 minutes we got on the clock?
Raggy Ice does some weird things to people.
It does. It does. It does. You know, I just realized his axes glow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that before. They have like Shocky on them. That makes sense though. He calls down lightning. Or reckless swings. All right, Light Slinger Lucian. It's about time for high noon. You're gonna have to draw. See if we can get a mid lane fight here. 3 Infernals, like you said, it kind of becomes a null point here, expecting FlyQuest to do more damage, so we have to expect them to have a better engage. But they're going around an Equalizer, an Emperor's Divide, Lux Bindings, and you're also going to have Anda rushing to the back line, not even caring that he's making himself squishy anymore, because he's just going to squeeze the life out of your marksman. That's teamwork right there. Teamwork makes the dream work.
You named all the guys, and still Anda is the last boss, the final raid boss that you have to deal with. He can tank the Baron, he can do whatever he wants, and now has a stopwatch, so you're just not going to catch him.
Ouch. Ouch indeed.
Look at his vision score, too. 44, better than every member of Fly.
That's pretty gross. And actually, as a support, I feel really bad when that happens. Because either, like, it's even in games when you're fighting, you should still be warding, but you see your score is low, and the other support's clearing your wards, but you're like, you have to remember to keep that up. And that just means he's been busy. Takes quite a while to do that. He also has the Think wards to be put down right now. If they want to start warding the base up that score a little bit more, why not? Whoa! Prowling projectile hits. Maxi's in. This is one of the final go for broke moments here for FlyQuest. This Maxi is going to go down. That leaves JJ out to dry as he tries to get the summoner healed down, but cannot get the exhaust out to stop 100 Thieves. I don't think the exhaust would have done much for the damage that they are outputting at the moment. Anyways, 3 inhibitors down around the horn. They're just waiting for the minions to make quick work of the Nexus turrets.
Here comes the teleport, the final push.
And on the bot side, one-man army coming in with the minions as he meets everybody. The gathering point, the Nexus turrets of FlyQuest base. 100 Thieves looking to get that second win, feeling good to start a streak going in their name, and they're going to pick up a win over FlyQuest Academy.
They just crushed it, and Anda had such a great game. 0-0 for about 5-10 minutes. Suddenly that gank bottom lane, triple kill. Game's over. Olaf just ran away with it.
And exactly what you need to see as you start off to after a slump. You need to come out strong, and you need to get sure wins under your belt, not waffle ones where you're just like, oh, we had a Baron, but we dropped one, and then we tried to come back. This was just at the start line and then to the finish.
Especially when a single player pops off so much, you start building their confidence individually. He didn't have a great split last time around in the LCS, and now, well, a great win in Academy is definitely going to make you feel like this is where you belong, playing competitive League of Legends.
And not a bad thing. It wasn't someday. Not a bad thing. It was awesome to see all 100 Thieves step up. So a strong start to the game with Anda's ganks, and you can see just about everything's coming up Anda this game.
Yeah, so they go in for this play, but Anda was already sniffing it out. And even if the Olaf and rather the Jarvan and Lucian would have synchronized that gank a little bit better, there's no way the outcome of this fight is different. Anda is just so strong in the 3v3 early on that it's just amazing. And then once again, Lucian starts off a play, but Anda is there, flashing in right away, and they are so lucky that they didn't lose more members out of this because it could have been bad. Someday was really strong with the Leandri's completed, and even though the Cataclysm and Gnar combo does work, they're just not strong enough to go through with it. Yumi does not add enough damage, and when you have gone with the Cinderhulk Jarvan as well, the DPS is just not there.
Womp womp. It kind of gets tough after that situation. Also, Anda with the axes playing very well in placement and just hitting each one to capitalize on those kills leads to more good fights and a secure of Baron at 20 minutes in. We see this 3-0 in the mid lane.
Big greedy out of Lucian, trying to find a play. Unfortunately, no vision, and who's there in the brush? Once again, it's not Garen, it's Anda's Olaf. Taking down Lucian, taking down Yumi in the attach, actually dying from that red buff burn. Or maybe it was the true damage, probably both. But at the end of the day, you lose 3, you lose Baron, and then the game is all downhill from there. Or uphill if you're 100 Thieves.
Yep, just overall, lots of damage coming. All downhill, yeah, I like that. Overall, just huge amounts of damage, over 7K there to the top side, and we saw that that Rumble went all the way through. Maybe Ango's not a Rumble player, but having the burner, we saw him look at the Cyclone. They had the Jarvan, the Wukong, but we're going to pick the Wukong. But then they just had the option to pick up that Rumble. I think that was a miss.
I think so too. It's a lot easier to execute with the Rumble Jarvan than it is with the Gnar and the Jarvan, just because Rumble right now is such a great laner in such a good spot, offering you that mixed damage, which is a really big deal, and is a little bit better for the team fight because of his long presence. It's not just stuck in the Cataclysm like the Gnar ult.
Yeah, absolutely agree. All right, so 2 games down, but we are just starting. Coming up next, we'll see Clutch Academy take on Team Liquid. Do not go anywhere. Thanks.
He's gonna call your grandma.
No, I don't have any more minutes. Airy is now turned on, and they have JJ there. JJ's forced to fly off. It's a double kill coming in for Anda. Possible triples. He picks up the undertow. It comes down. Feels like we've actually been in the game quite a bit here, but only one item. Whoa! Airy going in onto Soligo. Oh, that shield coming back so huge. Underestimating the Lux prismatic barrier is the death of many. Crawling projectile hits. Maxi's in. This is one of the final go for broke moments here for FlyQuest. This Maxi is going to go down. That leaves JJ out to dry as he tries to get the summoner healed down, but cannot get the exhaust out.